this three-course menu consisting of a starter, which is a salad, was inspired by the colors of fall. In fact, everything about this menu was fall oriented. So I started off with a colorful autumn salad, the base of which is Swiss chard, rainbow chard in fact, with delightful reds and yellows and greens, which I've combined with pear and a mustard dressing. Combined it as such so that it has a compact presentation. The theme or the inspiration I keep coming back to is the word grounded. Falling back on the one hand, the idea of fall or warming, coming to winter types of food and moods. I looked for produce that would be available at the time, that would be colorful, and that would also be inspiring to make something which appeals to a more warming and more comforting type of dish. It's a tartlet, the crust of which is made from hazelnut and buckwheat. It has a little bit of olive oil. I like the taste of hazelnut, which somehow also brings me back to autumny, fall kind of flavors. But adding the buckwheat, the sprouted buckwheat, gives the crust just a little bit of crisp, and that then adds a lot to texture. Especially contrasting with the cream that's the first filling of the tartlet, which is a celeriac filling with apple and a little bit of macadamia oil. The sweet and sour, rather subtle cream, no nuts, is like a light base on which the root vegetables can be contrasting on the one hand in color and on the other hand in bite and in flavor. I've used red beets, sweet potato and yellow beets, all of which have a different type of bite and all of which I treat differently both in slicing and in tenderizing. I immediately fell in love with sweet potato once I sliced it in the spiralizer, very thin spirals which allow not only to have an easy bite but also lots of volume, allowing me to build up and layering the tartlet or the topping of the tartlet with more volume. The red beet required most work. Although sliced very thinly, I used these nice long small red beets which I shaved. They required some extra transformation to get to the right softness or the right tenderness. I shortly submerged them in hot water, about 70 degrees Celsius, for about a couple of minutes, which allowed for the starchiness which allowed me to get rid of the starchiness and tenderizing the slices just slightly. And then I added sticks of yellow beet, which didn't require any tenderizing at all. They had a really soft and nice fresh bite, and completed the topping as such. And finally, for dessert, I went for the deep colors of fall, but lightening it up and freshening it up with a very specific kind of cream. The sorbet itself is made from basically blueberries and rooibos tea, a pairing which I really like. It gives a nice sorbet kind of texture, but that new combining. The tea really takes the sorbet away from pure sweetness to something a little bit more layered or a little bit more complex. It is placed on top of a cream which is made from orange zest and orange juice. It has a little bit of pine nuts and coconut oil to give it more a more thickening texture, allowing it to plate nicely. But especially the zest of the orange gives it a very strong yet fruity flavor, which pairs nicely to the sweetness of the sorbet.